Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all doing well. Today's video is a well sit down video. You can see I've got my cup of coffee, wearing my using my my hero cup. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, I've got my cup of coffee with me because today is a huge chit chat, something that I've never shared with anyone, and I'm really excited to share that with you. I don't know if I'm excited, but I don't know, it's such a sensitive topic which I've been really keeping to myself, and I just wanted to just share with you and see if this would sort of motivate someone out there, and maybe someone can feel like they are not alone in whatever they're going through, because we go through a lot and most of us just tend to sort of keep it to ourselves and keep it in our head ringing there, and that really weighs us down. So I'm really excited to share that story with you, have a little girly chit chat with you guys today. And yeah, so welcome back. I hope you're all having a great day. Today I'll be talking to you about how I almost dropped out of university because of failing. Due to two things, I'm going to tell you the story about it and how I overcame those failures and how I just picked myself up to become the better person and who I am today, and hopefully I'll become the best version of myself as I'm working towards that soon and in the future. So if you're new here, my name is Esther. I'm a current privileged pharmacist working in a community setting. So I share study related content, what I do, what my life is as a privilege at the moment, and just my lifestyle and how I'm just going through every phase and every stages of my life. Just because I know there's one girl out there that's also going through the same thing as me, and I just know there's a lot of people that relate with me, and I really love to share that with you guys. So welcome. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe to this video so you can always see all these chit chat videos as well and never miss one as well. And please switch on your notification bell so you can always get notified whenever I upload a new video. Okay, let me have my coffee and we can go straight into the chats today. That is really nice. So yes, I almost dropped out of uni, and it's so funny how this happened towards my last few stages of university. As you all know, as a UK pharmacy student, in your third year, sort of prepare for this a national exam that gets you the job after university. And for me, from the get-go, of course, I've had experience in every sector. From the get-go, I've always wanted to work in the hospital. I've always liked the idea of working in a hospital. All my experience was in a hospital, even though I've experienced working in a community setting, but it just wasn't for me. So I've always wanted it. So I was leaning more into getting my pre-registration here in the hospital, as well as making sure it is closer to my house. And I have this dream hospital which I want to mention. I have like this hospital that in London. I feel like this happened towards my last two stages of university, and it was a very emotional roller coaster for me. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, it was very emotional, and I can't thinking back about it, I just thank God for how far God has brought me and how He has helped me to deal with certain things in life. So anybody that's a UK pharmacy student in your third year going to your fourth year, your last year, you tend to sit this national exam called Oriel, and it's like a national exam that sort of gets you sort of rank, like a matching system where you rank and then you choose where you want to work after your final year at uni and things like that. So this is like a very stressful time for most pharmacists, because we all have preferences and things. And personally for me then, anyone you ask will say that Esther would want to work in a hospital anytime, any day. She loves the hospital setting. Even while my part-time job is in the hospital, I was working in A&E, which was really fun. I really love going to work because I just enjoy the aspect. I don't know what's coming through those doors, and just I like the aspect I can think on the spot, I can do things on the spot, that sort of thing. So I really loved and I wanted to work in a hospital. So while I was applying for my Oriel, first of all I really beat myself because I did not rank properly, but I didn't even know what I was doing. So I picked most of the hospitals, and because I wanted to stay at home, I just picked all the hospitals I wanted to work in London because it's so close to where I live. So I sat the Oriel exam, sort of prepared and things like that, and I feel like exactly this time last year, because we're in November now, I got the results. I don't know, I didn't even want to check it. I got the results. I don't know, something in me was just not willing to check. And sometimes when it's so funny when you feel like you're gonna fail at something, you sort of see it. I don't know, I dreamt about it that night and I sort of saw what was going to happen, but I was in denial that nah, that's just a dream. I'm just knowing that God was just showing me things. I finally said, you know what, that I'm going to check this with my friends, because I just don't want the feeling that I did not get like I did not get what I wanted. And in my mind, I never even thought I would not get where I really wanted. Like I've always wanted to get hospital. I always thought at least I'll get one hospital. It might not be my first choice, but I'll get to work in a hospital wherever it is. So me and my friend tried to open it up like 3 hours later after it had been uploaded. And you know, see that patience. Yeah, I'm that person, guys. Yeah, I'm that person where if I don't want to check something, no matter how you persuade me, I would not check it. So I sort of like, no, I'm not willing to check it, things like that. Because I did the same thing for my research project. I don't know if you guys have watched that video where I had to actually show my real life reaction to it. I really left it a whole week. I did not check it for a whole week. So I'm someone like that. So the same thing was happening here. I did not check the results for like 3 hours. And later, my friend called me and said, you know what, let's check it together. I was actually working on my research project. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna ignore. I can't let this ruin my day. I don't know, because I'm worried that I haven't got what I wanted and things like that. So lo and behold, we decided to check it, and I think I said I was going to even record my reaction to it. That's why I was trying to learn how to even record my reactions to whatever I'm doing for like to my grades and things like that, because I never thought it was something to actually show and things like that. And I always have the feeling that if I actually recorded this and I failed, I don't think I'm going to share it. It was recorded, but it never came out on YouTube. Well, we're still going to talk about how I deal with failures and things like that. So we decided to check it. My friend opened ours first, and she was like, oh, I got community where I did my placement. I was like, okay, that's what number was that? She was like, she ranked her hospitals first and ranked that. I was like, oh, okay, let me check mine. Lo and behold, I got a community place. That was my first 10 though. That was my first 10 choice that I did. So because I ranked, what I did was I ranked in terms of location, because I really wanted to stay in London. So I ranked all of the London place, including hospital and community, before I moved to other locations that I wouldn't mind to stay. Because for me, living with family members in the same city really makes sense to me, because I don't want to be lonely in a random city without anybody, you know. So I saw community, like the way my face dropped, I don't know, I just felt a feeling of sadness. I could feel the cold sweat down my spine. I was just like, no way. All of a sudden, I just hear this word, you are a failure. Whoa. I was in denial. I was just like, no, this can't be happening. Like the exam went well, because I felt like the exam went well, because I even when I checked my calculation, I got 9 out of 10 for my calculation exam. And the SJT, I think because I had extra time as well because of my learning disability, you get what I mean? I took my time to go over those situational judgment tests twice to make sure I'm ranking the right answer from what I would do. So I was like, no, this can't be my score. Something is wrong. Did they mark something? I was in so much denial. I'm sure my friend then, I hope she's watching this, I'm sure she was trying to make me feel like, oh, it's not the end of the world. I don't mind. You know, that's something. But in my head, I'm like, I do mind. This is not what I want to do. I feel like a failure for not even getting a common place I would love to work, just work in a hospital. Like, and I've always had experience in a hospital, and fair enough, like it was just an SJT exam that we did not have the chance for interviews, because I was thinking maybe, I even thought that they were not fair enough, because if I had a chance of interview, I could have talked my way through. And so because I've got so many experience, because of this, I had so many experience in the hospital and I still didn't get in. I felt like a failure. Trust me, your girl locked herself in our room. I literally did associate myself from the world. That was my first reaction to that failure. That video, even though I had to delete it at some point, I recorded. I literally, you know, when you just sometimes not even look at your memory stick. I look at my memory stick where I put my recorded videos on, and I was going through them. I watched it again. I was just in tears. I was in tears. I did not know what to do. I just felt like a goddamn failure. That is how I felt. I'm gonna tell you 4 or 5 things that I did to come out of that failure, and I did to make me feel better and not make me tag myself as a failure anymore. So guys, one of the first things I think that matters when dealing with failure is your first reaction. Like I told you what my first reaction was. If you remember what I said, I literally locked myself away from the world. I literally associate myself from things that make me happy, because I just felt like I was not worthy enough to even enjoy all these little things in life. Everyone reacts to failure differently, and that's fair enough. Some people would want to talk to people straight away. Some people would just want to be alone. Some people would want, like, they are very hungry and they just let their hunger out. That's fine. Everyone reacts to failure differently. However, my advice to people is that failure comes in, and I think the reason why failure is so special is that it wants your first reaction to be the negatives, and it's okay to have this negative reaction. But one thing I think I could have done better was either maybe I should have just calmed myself down. It's okay to lock myself away from the world and just sort of be myself, be alone for a moment to sort of reflect on what has happened, why I have failed, and what I think I could have done better. You get what I mean? So you could do things like that, but in as much as you first calm yourself down, try to do, like, just get yourself away from that thing that's making you think like you're a failure, from that sad news that you've just heard. Just look, and just be alone. Sometimes is needed. And you can do other things like taking a walk. Yes, going for a walk, and you could either listen to happy music if you like happy music, to see if that's going to spark joy in you, or you could just listen to the very sad music. Sometimes sad music help you to actually let out that emotion, where you have the tears pouring out. At least letting out that emotion gives you a lot of relief. I wish I had done that, because my heart was so heavy because I could not let it out. I could not cry. I feel like the crying makes me makes me look like I'm weak, or crying, I don't want to show people how I felt, because they're going to look at me like, oh, she's always said she wanted a hospital, but she got a community work, she's a failure, that sort of thing. I had so many thoughts in my head. Everything was just flowing in my head, and that makes my heart so heavy. Like, I've never been in that mood in all my life. That was the mood that I never look forward to have again in my whole entire life. For the rest of life I still live, I never look forward to it. Take a walk. Listen to me. Listen to something that will either bring joy out of you and make you forget that moment that you have had that news, or something that would actually help to boil your eyes out and cry, because sometimes the crying helps matters a little. Just helps to relieve that stress going off in your mind. Another thing is practice meditation or mindfulness. For me, because I don't do yoga, what I do is I just sort of listen to godly podcasts, or even just listen to a nice solemn music to practice mindfulness. Sort of in that moment, that helps me to sort of reflect on, okay, what has happened. Now coming to terms with what has happened, that is, it's not the end of the world. It's just for me to pick myself up and try again. You get what I mean? Another thing you could do is to actually speak to people. If speaking to people, your first reaction, you feel that you've actually had your alone time, speaking to people could help you feel better about yourself, could help you feel better, that make you know that you're not a failure. Because even listening to other people's stories, yeah, you're going to be like, wait, I'm not even going through a quarter of what they've gone through. Why do I feel like I'm a failure? Sometimes you should pat yourself in the back because you're doing really well. That will be my first thing that I would recommend that you do. Your first reaction matters. When you fail in life, or when you fail at something, your first reaction really is a very important thing, because that will help you to able to manage whatever things and how to deal with it better. My second point is never compare yourself to others. I don't know if you watched my How to Deal with Imposter Syndrome video. I did talk about not comparing yourself to others, and it's coming back again. Never compare yourself to others. That's one of the mistakes I made. I literally compared myself to all of my classmates straight away. It got to a point everyone started telling me where everybody else got, and I'm like, whoa, and this is me, someone that I know people always know what I want, and I still didn't get. I could not share what I got. I could not. I was not happy about it. So I started comparing myself to people that, well, I'm a failure. This person can actually even get a hospital place, then I'm a failure. You know, that sort of thing. Never compare yourself to others. Some people might be smarter than you. Some people might be good in whatever they do. Never, because by comparing yourself to others, that brings you down more. and that makes you tag yourself more as a failure, and that literally makes your thinking worse, to the point that you're not able to get out of that slump that you've put yourself in. So never compare yourself to others. Others are good at certain things, but trust me, you are good at something you are good at. Nobody else can be you. You can't be anybody else. Try to not compare yourself to others. It happens. I did it. That was one of the mistakes I made when I found out about my pre-registration place and things like, and even finding out that I failed some exams, because it's like one thing was falling on top on another. I was comparing myself there with people. I was just in that mindset that where everyone is better than me. Anyways, that sort of thing, and it just really just put me down that I can't be better in whatever I do, to the point that I started having anxieties of when I want to do something. I started having anxieties that, oh, I'm not good at it, I can't, I'm sure somebody is doing it already, someone is better than me, or if somebody can do it better, why do I even need to try? That just keeps you in that failure mindset. And by having this thing, you can't even move forward. You can't even reflect on how well you can do better and how well you can improve yourself. So never compare yourself to others. Others might be smarter, they might be more beautiful than you. It doesn't matter. You and yourself only, and you can never be somebody else, because you are good at what you're good at. My third point is that put all this situation, put them all in a perspective. For example, I know it is easier said than done. For example, trying to think positively when you're going through some negative phase of your life is the most difficult thing. Like, I don't, even till today, I don't know how people do it, but I'm thanking God for the grace of God, because to me, I just hold on the grace of God, because it is the grace of God that carries me on. Trust me, I'm also a human being. I'm also an human being. I have blood flowing through my veins, so it's okay for me to not even think of the positives in something. But sometimes it's always good to think of the positives. And I know it's hard, it's easier said than done. You imagine, like, you're going through a phase of failure, and you're having to start thinking about what you're good at, what you like about yourself. It can be hard to do, but try to put everything in perspective. Like, okay, I'm not good at this, I failed this, okay, what am I good at? For example, failing the this pre-reg place, I knew, okay, this is not what I want, but I literally, after putting it all in perspective, I have my big cons, this is not where I want, and I'm not happy to be here. And then I had my pros. Wait, actually, I have a whole pharmacist to myself, that is my DS. I don't have to share my business provider with anybody else, and I'll be working with my DS directly all the time. That was a pros for me. Second of all, I'm at the heart of everything. My patient going to the hospital, going to all these facilities, seeing all these services and things like that, it all comes down to me in the pharmacy, because I deal with their medication, and I deal with more than dealing with their medication. So I had to look at the positives in this thing, and I'm thankful that I had to do that, because I'm telling you, now that I'm in it, I would have regretted if I did not even start this pre-reg. I would have regretted it a lot, which is something that, like, is mind-blowing. Like, anyone watching this right now that knows me will know that this is not what Esther wanted to do, but she's actually having fun in what she's doing. That's often the littlest smile from my patient, even though they're wearing masks, I can tell from their eyes that they're smiling and being happy. That makes my day. The joy of me having time to even have a cup of tea, when I know in the hospital with the workload and how busy it is in the hospital, sometimes having a cup of tea is a luxury. And having a whole 1 hour break to myself is a luxury. And I'm not even having break by myself, I'm having breaks with all my team members. So we literally look forward to our break time, because that is when we sort of get to chat, talk things outside pharmacy. We just have fun. Or where are you going for this weekend? That sort of thing. I get the chance to actually spend time and know my team members. I literally had to put everything in all perspective, and by seeing the positive in what has happened, I was able to move forward and improve myself and improve my mindset towards my workplace, and which is something I felt like has helped me move forward and do well so far that I am in it. Thank Jehovah. But that's what I would say, put everything in our perspective. I know you cannot think of, I'm not saying you should not think of the negatives, but while you're thinking of the negatives, think of the positives in it, and see how you can turn the negative into positive, and make sure that you sort of change your mindset around it. So that is another point, is to put all things, all of it in the perspective. Think of the negative, think of the positives, and see how you can turn the negatives into positives. And my fourth and final step is to take a positive next steps. Remember, you put everything in, you've put them all in a perspective. You've had your positive, you've had your negative, and things like that. Then your next step is to actually take a positive next step. What can I do? What you should think of is that what can you do next in a positive manner. For example, for me, I knew this was a situation, I knew this was affecting my grades and affecting my exam. So the first positive steps I took was, I was just grateful to God that I had a job, because I know some people didn't get it. So I was very grateful to God that I had a job. That was the first positive next step. And then I started speaking to people that have done pre-regis in a community setting, listen to their perspective of the story, what they like about it. I even sort of spoke to people and see what I can do to improve my experience in a community setting, because I was worried that it's going to get boring because you do everything every day. But trust me, it's not the same every day. Literally, even though we see the same patients every day, but what they bring in through those doors every day, you can't ever read their mind. Your patient can be different this minute. They are the same patient, but their mindset and what they're coming to talk to you about, or what they're querying about, is completely different. So by doing this, taking this positive next step, I was able to ask questions, and this all prepared my mind as to what I could at least expect in a community setting, and what I can do to improve my experience. Also, one of the things they told me was that I should be proactive in learning, that if I'm very proactive in learning, I will enjoy myself. So I was very proactive. When they want someone to do something, I literally say, oh, can I do it, can I try it, and can I just learn and see how to do it? And from there I just learned to do it, and they are so happy. I'm sure, like, on this, one thing that makes me happy that I learned from all these people and took these positive steps is that now that I'm working, on my training days when I'm not at work, my manager sees me the next and she was like, oh my God, Esther, I miss you yesterday. So many calls, queries I had to attend to myself, but if you were here, you would have dealt with it very well, and I don't have to worry about that. And just that sort of comment and that sort of compliment makes me feel happy that I'm in the right place and at the right place at the right time, and that was the reason why God put me there. So by taking positive steps, that will help you to overcome the failure in a more better way, because you've already seen where you failed and you've taken this positive step. It could even be in form of revision. For example, let's say your revision technique that you were doing was something that wasn't working, and that's why you failed the exam. You can always learn a new technique. That's a positive step. Try other ways, try other things that you could do to make sure that once you resit that exam, you're going to do better than you did last time. So that is what I would say. Take positive steps when you're dealing with failure. That helps you to come out of that slump, that helps you to change your mindset, and that helps you to look at yourself in a better perspective, that you are able to do something and you can achieve something once you put your mind to it. So guys, that brings me to the end of this chit chat video. I hope it's not a very long video, but I just wanted to pour my heart out to you, that even though we are all on Instagram and we are all students, you only see the good side of it. None of us share the sad part of it. But I just wanted to share this with you to let somebody out there that failing is not the end of the world. It's okay to fail. It's fine to fail. The only problem with failing is if you don't learn from that failure and you keep doing it again. But if you learn from it, you sort of reflect on that failure, you pick yourself up and try to do better. And before you know it, that thing you failed before, you're going to be a pro in it next time. So that is what I will say to you. Never let failure bring you down. Never. It's okay to express yourself, it's okay to go through the emotions, but just see ways that you can get out of it quick. It doesn't have to be quick. It takes everyone time to go over things. It takes time to get things over your head, but take your time, but make sure you're doing it in the right way, because you don't want something that will keep pushing you backwards and you're not seeing the positives in failure. So many of us have received a lot of rejections, even me, a lot of rejection, but I don't let that get to me. I just literally deal with it the way I want to deal with it, and the next thing is I'm looking forward. If you're focused and you're willing, you can always get over that failure, pick yourself up, and you will do better. So that brings me to this end of this video. Let me summarize the things you can do to deal with failure. Your first impression matters. Second of all, never compare yourself to others. Third of all, put it all in a perspective to see what the negatives and the positives is, and how you can change the negatives to positives. And the fourth thing is that to take a positive first step. And that brings me to this end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned one or two things on how I have reflected and learned so much from me failing and making sure that I didn't drop out of university and Jehovah, and learning from it and becoming a better version of myself. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also share with your friends. Now to the question of the week. No, I said I'm doing question of the week when I do sit down videos like this. So the question of this week is, what is your first impression when you fail at something? Let me know in the comments below. I'll read in the comments and I'll be expecting to see what I like. I'm sure so many people have different reactions and I want to see what your reactions are. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you all in my next video. Have a good day. Bye.